Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Laura, and today's video is going to be the X's and O's readathon vlog. This readathon is hosted by 5 beautiful booktubers. I'll put their pictures here on the screen for you, and I'm gonna leave all their channels in the description box down below so you can go and check them out and give them some support as well. Let me go over the schedule for the readathon. Today is the kickoff day. It's February 1st. So today is the day that we're all going to start reading all the books that we've chosen for the fun reading prompts for this readathon. I'll get into what those reading prompts are next and tell you all the books that I'll be reading for this vlog for you. Tomorrow there are going to be some reading sprints happening. I'm super excited for Sunday night because we're going to be watching She's the Man on Netflix. Everybody will sync up and watch the movie and talk at the same time over on Discord. There's a Discord going this whole entire time with really fun chats that are already started over there. I don't think I've ever seen the movie She's the Man, so that should be a fun time. And then the readathon is over on Monday, and Monday night there will be a live show reading wrap-up. They give you some choices for this, so you can either be on Team X's, Team O, or you can be a double agent, which is kind of a combination of X's and O's. So depending on which team you choose, you'll have a different bingo board with slightly different prompts. I chose to be part of Team O, so this is my bingo board that I will be completing, or mostly completing at least. I have chosen 3 books that I want to try to tackle on this 5-day time frame, which might be a little bit of a challenge for me, but we're gonna try. One of the reading prompts for Team O is pink on the cover, and so I will read Happy Place by Emily Henry for that one. For the romantic comedy prompt, I'm going to choose Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. For flowers on the cover, I'm going to read The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. I'm really excited about the books that I chose, about all the fun little activities going on for this readathon, so without further ado, let's get started reading. Saturday afternoon now, and we are halfway through the X's and O's readathon, and I have officially finished reading Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. I'll get into what I think about this book in just a minute. But first I want to say that I've been having such a fun time with this readathon just in general, just all of the chat last night at the live show, the reading sprints. Jessie is one of the 5 hosts for this readathon, and she made the most hilarious game that she put together and surprised the other 4 hosts, and it was just such a funny time. All the comments were hilarious from people in the chat, and just it was a good time. So I got quite a bit of my reading done with the reading sprints, and then I finished reading this book this morning. Funny enough, one of the other hosts, Gwen, was also reading Romantic Comedy, and she said in the live show last night that she ended up DNFing this book. Which I almost did. Again, I'll get to that in just a minute. There are a couple other fun activity prompts on the bingo board for Team O. One is making or buying a Valentine for someone. The second activity I haven't done yet is practicing self-care. And for me, reading is kind of it's like a hobby / self-care, just taking my time for myself, and that's kind of how I relax. But also, going on dates with my husband is another way that I think of as self-care, because going out and having fun with my husband really does refill my own cup, but it also refills our relationship cup. So it's definitely one of my favorite things to do, is going on dates with him. While he's in the shower getting ready for that, let me tell you what I thought about Romantic Comedy. I really thought about DNFing this as well. I think here's what you should know if you were going to read Romantic Comedy, if this is sitting on your shelves and you haven't read it yet and you want to. The book is broken up into 3 different chapters. Chapter 1 is really not focused on a romance whatsoever. It's very much focused on Sally and her career as a comedy writer for the Saturday Night Live inspired comedy show The Night Owls. The whole chapter really is pretty much all focused on the show production itself. You do get to meet some of her friends and other characters that you're gonna see later on in the book, but it's so much more about just the production of the show, to the point that at times I felt like I was reading a non-fiction book about Saturday Night Live production. It just didn't feel like I was reading a romance, I felt like if that's what I wanted to read about, I would have just read a book that's already out there. Like there are several books that exist about Saturday Night Live. Chapter 2 is written exclusively in emails. So it's nothing but emails going back and forth between Sally and her finally like somewhat of a love interest, Noah. Noah was a host during chapter 1, but we're like, they really didn't have much of a love connection, and the little bit that they started to at chapter 1, at the end of chapter 1, she kind of like messed that all up, and you're like, oh, just when I thought it was gonna get good, you know? So that was a little frustrating, to be honest. At first, the emails were like really cute and flirty, and I was kind of into it, and then I realized how long they went on. Like they just kept going and going. I was like flipping through like, when do these stop? And they just didn't for a long time. I'm not kidding when I tell you I'm still going. These are all still emails, and like I said, they started off cute and flirty, and then they got really long and boring. And if I'm being really honest, I skimmed like most of chapter 2 because I just didn't care about the emails. At that point I was like, are they gonna get together or not? You know, like, are we ever gonna see these two in the same room in some type of romantic fashion? And it turns out that yes, you do, but that is what chapter 3 is, and really the only chapter that I felt read like a true romance. We saw some growth from Sally. I did really enjoy chapter 3. I loved seeing them once they finally did get together. You know, it wasn't perfect. You know, they both kind of have some flaws, but they worked them out in like a pretty mature way, and I just really did like enjoy chapter 3 and seeing the romance like finally come to fruition. So that being said, like, know that this is going to be a very, very slow burn, and I feel like this book really could have been like a short story. Like all we really needed was chapter 3 and maybe a few of the details from chapter 1 and 2, but we could have skipped a whole lot of stuff here and still had the same effect by the end. So that being said, this is a 3 for me. I also probably am a little biased because Sally was from Kansas City, Missouri, so there were a lot of Missouri references. You guys know I'm a sucker for that by now. So that might have like persuaded this from being like a 2.5, bumped it up to a 3. Because I did really also enjoy hearing like the Missouri references. I liked the relationship that she had with her stepdad too. I thought that was really precious. So anyway, not the worst book in the world. It was a fine time. Obviously not the best romance that I've ever read. So to hopefully redeem that, I'm gonna jump into Happy Place by Emily Henry next. Out of the 2 books that I had left to read on my plans for this readathon, this is the one that I'm probably most excited for. I've read a couple Emily Henry books last year and they were like a 3.5, 4-star rating, so hopefully this will be a little bit of a better time. I'll catch up with you after I've read a few chapters of this and give you my thoughts. So sore. That was like quite the workout, that rock climbing, and it turns out that I was doing it all wrong at first, and that's probably why my upper body is sore. It's less upper body than it really is like your lower body, or it's supposed to be. But what I was doing was trying to like grab onto the wall and like pull myself up. It wasn't like an instructor-led class, so we were just kind of like free to move about the gym and climb wherever we wanted to or felt comfortable with. But one of the staff, who is an instructor there, came over and kindly showed me how I was doing it wrong. And that you really want to have like outstretched arms, and then it's more of like a reverse squat to lift yourself up and climb to the next level. Anyway, super fun. Highly recommend that as a fun date night idea. And even better, the instructor slash staff member that I was talking to said that it's a really great date night idea to do the class where you learn how to belay, like having a partner with the rope that you use to climb, where one person's climbing and the other person's like securing their partner with the rope. I don't know all the terminology exactly, but the reason the instructor was saying that it's a great date night experience is because it's all about trust and trusting your partner. I thought since we were kind of in like our romance era with this readathon that would be somewhat relevant. I have started Happy Place. I'm a few chapters in at this point. So here's what I know about the book so far. Harriet and Gwen are our main characters and our love interest, and they are on a vacation at this place that they all refer to as their happy place within their group of like 6 friends. Super close group of friends, but yet like they are all adults now, and as you know, we all kind of know, like once you have a job and start families and get married, like your responsibilities change, so your friendships do become a little bit more distant, but this is an opportunity for them to all get back together again. The problem is that Harriet and Gwen had broken up like several months before they showed up for this vacation with their friends, and they didn't really quite know how to tell their friends that they had broken up. Now one of their friends is getting married as like a surprise to the rest of the friendship, and also the home that they usually vacation at is being sold, so this is kind of like their last chance to have their trip at this same location. So they're not wanting to spoil it, so they're going to do almost like a fake dating / second chance type of situation where they're pretending like they're still together, having to sleep in the same bedroom, so it's like forced proximity, all the different things. I'm enjoying it so far. I like the writing. I love Emily Henry's dialogue. I just joined a like impromptu reading sprints with Jessie from Reading with Jess. I'm gonna do some more reading along with them. Tonight is also the movie night, so we're gonna be watching She's a Man on Netflix, chatting over on Discord. It's been a fun time so far. I'll let you know what I think of Happy Place whenever I finish it. Readathon is officially over, and I've also officially finished Happy Place. And listen, I was going to give this a 4.5 stars. I literally have it as 4.5 stars on the review on Goodreads right now, but I'm going to delete the little 4.5 note there and change it to a 5-star reading because I don't know, I just can't stop thinking about these characters. The only negative thing that I was going to say that I was going to make it a 4.5 instead of a 5 was honestly kind of petty. It was just that like she does repeat some analogies a few times. Like there was multiple times where she referred to Wynn, the male character, as having a scent of pine and clove and cinnamon toothpaste, very specifically. And one of those times being that like they had been out on the boat and then on the beach and they were eating cheese. It's like there's no way this man still smells like cinnamon toothpaste. But like I said, like that is, I just feel like that is so petty. Like this is a 5-star book. All the vibes are there. And there are so many more like really beautiful analogies that don't get repeated. Like the writing is so poetic and just beautiful. I love her dialogue. It just feels so easy and natural and yet funny and original, and it's like this particular group of friends almost have their own language, you know, like it's just a lot of cute and quirky like joking back and forth, and it's like they have their own like inside jokes, but we get to be a part of that. I don't know, I really love it. I also really love the structure of the book. So we get a dual timeline, but this being a second chance romance, we get to go all the way back and see from the moment that Gwen and Harriet first get together. That dual timeline is progressing at the same time that the present day, you know, timeline is progressing, and it all leads up like so perfectly to the climax of the book. We get the moment of the backstory in the relationship where they are breaking up and how that happens, and then at the same time immediately we get that like fight that's inevitably coming where they're going to hash out the reasons why they broke up and why did it ever happen, and getting, you know, them getting answers to their unanswered questions. The love between the two of them was so like deep and tender. I just really fell for this book like so much. Definitely my favorite romance, definitely my favorite Emily Henry book. So like I said, I'm not gonna be petty about this. This is a 5-star book. That being said, the readathon is over. I did not have time to get to the stationery shop. I do still really want to read this. This is a library book, and so I still have plenty of time to have this book in my possession before it's due back. And so I will try to read this book sometime this month. However, I am jumping straight from this readathon to the next readathon, which is like a circus themed one that I'm super excited for, so stay tuned for that reading vlog. All in all, I can't be mad at getting 2 books read in 5 days. I think that's pretty great for me. 3 stars and a 5 stars, can't complain about that either. It was such a fun time. I'm so thankful for all the hosts for hosting this, especially for Jessie. I believe she's the one that created this readathon, and everybody else did a great job participating and helping her host this. That's gonna be it for this video though. I hope you enjoyed it, and stick around if you want to see more. Give the video a thumbs up, it helps my channel and I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.